actually gonna start recording right now. We're just wait for Kai to come in.
We don't need Kai. Screw it, Kai.
Okay, I guess we can start without Kai. Let's see. Is my audio actually like acceptable?
You sound is fine.
My sound's actually better than what usually be. What is this? Is this like the Japanese fuck boy?
Wait, what?
What?
Oh shit! Like,
that's
people
the
just
the microphone. Yeah.
what?
Kai joined from the wrong. He's got like a second account for podcasting.
Wait! I thought,
like,
I thought you're supposed
Oh my
you're
God.
supposed to put in your job description. That's what Carl said.
And apparently my job is like, it's Julian and Callum. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, anybody tuning in right now, if this is your first episode of Everday Eternal, I'm very sorry. We are very professional, except for when I fly away to the other side of the continent and podcast from my hotel room with like a makeshift microphone and headset. And yeah, it turns out I even forgot my charger in Germany, so Today I borrowed a charger from a guest, but we'll get to that in a moment. Guys, how is it going? It's episode 135 of your... I'm not even going to try to pretend to do the usual intro. Just support us on Patreon. Give us all the money you have. And that way I can afford a flight back to Europe, I guess.
Yeah, we got no show notes this episode. We're going in...
on the fly.
raw.
On the fly. Dude,
Yeah,
you sound so much better than I thought. Because like you told us that your equipment is like literally dog shit. And it's like, it's okay. I can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, you say that until the internet cuts out again. We'll see. But yeah, this is actually hilarious. I'm literally sitting on my bed. I got like an iPad on the left side. I'm sitting in front of my laptop on the other side, and I hope it's not going to run out of battery. And we have a pretty hard cutoff, right? It's something like an hour because that's what I think my laptop can still do.
Nice.
So guys, you're at home. Callum, you recently moved as well, right? So your internet's
Yes.
also working.
Yeah, so I'm actually using my phones as a hotspot. When I got
Oh my
in,
god, this episode!
I turned the computer on just now, and the Wi-Fi is like downstairs. It's moved in with a friend in a new flat in a cooler part of London than before, but the Wi-Fi is downstairs, and so my bedroom's obviously upstairs, and it's not quite strong enough. And just as I was about to like press to join the call together, the internet cut out. I was like, yeah, no, my work pays for my phone, so they're going to pay for this episode.
By the way, and speaking of paying this episode and everything, I still want to give shout outs to our Patreons, by the way, which I have on my third screen. I wish I could take a picture of this, but I'm running out of devices to take pictures with. But I'm literally holding my phone on the right side of this whole setup, just so I can see like our new Patreons, because we got a ton of new Patreons. Big shout outs to Andy Fernandez, Ian Seifert, you actually deleted your membership. That's totally okay.
That still counts.
I just like was reading from bottom to top. Yeah, Yol has given us a lot of support, so no hard feelings. And yeah, Fritz Strat came in, and Kane. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to be happy to have you on board. If you want to come to Kenya, I can give you the biggest discount ever. Man, this is so different. Dude, I could really get used to podcasting on the fly. Seriously.
Okay.
But great to hear we got over this.
Right, do you have the beginning recording, or do we need to start again?
No, we got everything. Yeah. Like this is why we pay $10 to the mighty overlords at Cast, who I thought were called TriCast, but that's just there. But seriously, guys, you need better marketing. Like when we're probably like 50% of their customer base, and we don't even know what their service is called.
Yeah. So where do we want to start again? Like the part where...
No, we don't start again. We just keep going, guys. What have you been up to, Kai? How's Berlin?
So it was yesterday night. I watched a couple of movies. You know, it was like bad time for me. And then I went through Twitter, and then I saw this legacy dredge list from a guy. Unfortunately I forgot his name. It said like something Van Gogh or something.
Brazilian
like
guy,
that.
Meffens Van Gogh.
Yeah, exactly. And that guy like posted a legacy dredge deck with like force of wills, and like I was like absolutely blown away, because like I love forces, and I used to play a little bit of dredge, right? Like the very first GP I ever played was dredge, classic 03 drop, obviously from the main event, but it was good, and I was like, hell yeah, bitch, I'm gonna play this deck like now. And so I turned on Magic Online and just like got all the cards. It's basically like a careful study, otherworldly gaze, kind of like, it's just like lots of blue cards. You cut LED, and then you play forces. And I was like, hey man, like what about like grief? I can play like forces and grief, right? And cabal therapy, and have like all the disruption. And I was like, damn, that'd be like probably like a super good idea. And like I went through the league, and then I realized that I just completely just I never dredged.
You just got the first few things.
I
and then...
literally never dredged, dude. Like, I kept hands like, dude, I can like force at turn 1. I have force plus pitch, like force plus knock amoeba, and then I can grief my opponent turn 1. That sounds pretty good, right? And like, so I kept hands like these. And I'm like, dude, okay, like grief you. I got a force open. I was like, I literally didn't dredge for the first 5 turns or so. I was like, dude, this deck sucks.
This is like, I want to call that decelerated dredge or something. I don't know. It's just like the slow dredge. Like you play control for the first couple of turns, and then you go into hardcore. Yeah, this honestly,
exactly. Like all the time, I was like this super mediocre like wannabe control deck that just didn't even do anything. And I kept drawing Narcomoebas from top, like a pro, things like that, like bridges from below, like all like the good stuff.
All the cards you want to draw in hardcast. Dude, seriously, this sounds like a verse blue-black reanimator deck.
Like, seriously though, but I gotta say that like this deck was like one of the peak examples for like a deck that looks really good on the surface, and like it looked so promising that I decided to not go to sleep, right? Like I stayed awake until like 3 a.m. to like finally like finish my
format has been broken.
Finish my misery here. Like, but it was not good. It was not good, and I probably suck at dredge anyway. But damn, if you put too much interaction in a combo deck, then you never combo. That's
especially if like half the cards could like completely suck. This is just...
right.
I can imagine like you're like almost ready for bedtime. You're like, oh my god, this is the prompt. Like these are the ancient scrolls of wisdom. I found it. It's like, yeah, actually, it's
like it looked so good that like if I had a trophy on the first run, I would actually consider this to become like my deck for the 4 seasons. I was like this pumped, before the league, and then I went 1 and 4. So.
So yeah, it's back to actually good decks, I guess, for you. Too bad, man.
Right. So yeah, that's been going on in the Savatarix universe. What about you guys?
Callum, so what have you been doing? You already heard you've been moving. So are you hiding from the law, or what's going on here? Oh, we left Callum. This is the worst, dude. This is the worst episode ever. Literally the worst episode. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Can still hear you.
Okay.
I think we gotta I think you and I, we got a stable connection. Maybe Callum has like a little struggle because
yeah, Callum is back now. We can hear Callum. I asked him what he's been up to, and he immediately left the conversation. Dude, I'm so sorry if anybody's listening to this. Worst episode ever. Let us know. Now we have a Callum in chat, but the Callum is not talking. Callum is like a 30 minutes. Oh, we have 2 Callums. You cloned them. Holy shit.
I'm back. So, oh my god. So I've switched back to the house internet. Let's see how it goes. I don't know what the hell.
I like house internet. Is it like with wine? Like house wine is really bad, but house internet is actually good.
House wine is not good, but you know what you're getting. And it might not work, but you know what you're getting.
Also, don't get me started on wine. We have.
I know.
Well, I shouldn't talk. No. You don't know. But
Julian and wine.
Never talk bad about guests on your legacy.
Julian and wine is like a combo of like artifact lands and null rod. It
No,
gets you somewhere,
the
but then
other
it's
day-
fucked. Yeah,
No.
Like wine is the best recipe to break keyboards, right?
Yes.
Don't get me. Yeah, the other day I actually got drunk on we call it Cuba Libre in Germany. I don't know if people call it like rum and coke.
Rum and coke.
We had a really big tour operator, one of the biggest diving tour operators in Germany over here in Kenya, because I wanted to show them Kenya. And then we first went on safari, and like those, I want to say those are the coolest, most relaxed people I've ever worked with. I've known them for many years, and I've wanted to bring them to Kenya for a long time. And finally we made it work. We got this awesome safari, like with a lodge high up in the mountains. You could like literally see the entire park, like everything. The only downside was like there were a lot of dead animals because there's like a huge drought and no rain. So everywhere we drove, like you could like smell the cadavers of like the decomposing animals and stuff. But we got to see a lot of animals, especially lions, because lions don't care about droughts. Like if all the herbivores die, the lions are like, yeah, bring it on, bitch, I'm gonna eat you. And we found a lot of lions munching on.
I was gonna ask like how does what's the smell like in on a safari? Like does it smell like grass mostly, or is it like does it smell like I don't know, like piss or animals?
There's literally no smell except for like this place we went to. During the first half hour, I want to say we saw more dead animals than living animals, but overall we still saw a lot. It wasn't the greatest safari I ever did, but the location, holy shit. I might actually post some of the pictures on my Twitter later on, but I'm not sure. But yeah, then we came back to the hotel. We stayed at the hotel for a couple more days, and on the last night we booked a dhow, which is like a traditional East African ship. And we got a party ship, and the party ship has all you can drink, all you can eat included. So we went there, we even jumped overboard. Like, this was one of the sickest trips ever. We jumped overboard at some point because one of the local guys told me, hey, you can actually eat the grass on the shore. So we jumped off the ship, we swam ashore.
There's totally no crocodiles, right?
There's no crocodiles because actually there recently was one.
Let's go ahead.
None of the crocodiles are saltwater crocodiles, but one of them actually escaped from a farm, and it went into like the lagoon where we are, but it doesn't really get far because it's all saltwater, and that's like really bad for it. So they caught it again. I guess there wasn't really any danger, but anyway, we swam ashore and we started eating the grass there. And for like a moment, I was like, this guy's just like trolling us, right? I don't know, man. And then I looked around, like I was one of the first people to actually like try it. And when I turned around, there were like 10 people behind me with like beers in hand, swimming ashore to eat the grass. And I was like, where the fuck did I end up? This is amazing.
It's crazy, dude. Holy shit. I mean, like, I just found out that there's a difference between alligators and crocodiles. Like, I like for 30 years, I didn't know that there was a difference. And now I know. It's, which is crazy, you know.
Yeah, they eat you differently, right?
I guess crocodiles
already
are bigger or
forgot.
something.
The thing is, like, I already forgot what the difference is, but I think they look different or something like that.
Yeah, something. They probably also taste different. We also went to a snake farm. This last week has probably been one of the most amazing weeks of my life. Like, just yesterday, one of my friends who permanently works here, he was like, hey, Julian, should we just like float down the creek? I was like, yeah, we should.
Damn.
So we just like, we went out there at the very entrance of the creek. So I'm going to call it lagoon because it's easier to visualize. Nobody knows what a creek is. At least I didn't know until I started working here. And we just like swam into the middle of it. Like, it's pretty wide. It's like a really huge river, even though it's not a river. And then we floated all the way down to the bar. And then we got out of it again. This is just the most amazing thing. You gotta do that. We even do that. I'm actually not allowed to say that, but we have like a very special thing we do with that. If you ever come here, just hit me up. And yeah, in the evening we actually drove to see the elephants. That's just like you can literally go super cross country driving, and it's cheap. Which has like the hardest suspension you've ever had, but you really need it. And then we brought up a couple of drinks and we hung out at an opening in the forest, and the elephants started showing up, like proper forest elephants. I would say they were like more like 2-2, like maybe 3-2. They can get pretty aggressive, like not the proper big elephants, but the tiny forest elephants. And then we just hung out there until sunset, and yeah, then we drove back to the beach and had a couple more. Actually, we had sushi. Oh my god,
Ooh, tell me about that.
yeah, but it was like inside out California, Kai. You wouldn't like it.
This day sounds okay. Like, yeah.
We looked at the price, and it said like 8 pieces of nigiri for what's equivalent to $10. And I was like, there's no way this is like proper. Like nigiri, like if I buy it and even around here, I get like 1 or 2 pieces for $10. This was like, I think 8 pieces. And it was like the tiniest you could ever imagine. But anyway, the inside out was really good, even though Kai would hate it.
Yeah,
but
well,
so, yeah,
you know, right? Like every time someone eats in a California roll, like Japanese dies. So, you know.
Is that why the population's so low?
I mean, there are other reasons in addition, but you know, that is like the biggest crime ever. And like, you know, it's like eating. But the thing is, like Japanese do the same thing with other food too, because the Japanese usually eat Italian pasta with chopsticks, which I think is also like just absolute crazy. You can bet your ass that I'm gonna take my chopsticks with me to the Four Seasons tournament. I'm gonna kill those pasta plates with my chopsticks, dude.
You should actually operate the cards with chopsticks. Like draw your cards, keep your hand and everything.
Oh, I'm gonna build I'm gonna build my doomsday pile with my chopsticks. You know, just.
So yeah, and to round it out, just today we actually had a fire at the hotel. Like I was sitting there just at the bar working, and then one of our clients who runs like a pretty big conference we have here, she just like came running up to me, and she was like, "Julian, do you know about the fire?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "There's a really big fire," and I was like, "I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, but I guess I'm gonna check it out."
Before you get out of there, it's a good first step.
Yeah, actually, I got in there.
Okay.
And then that even like was a German guy, and of course it was a German guy. He had like a GoPro and a stick, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let me catch the fire on GoPro and everything." It was like,
right. I was
surreal.
gonna say that. I think like 20 years ago, like everyone would have been, like just packed the stuff and left already. But nowadays, people probably just take a selfie first. Just like, here's my selfie with the fire.
It's like, yeah, but we got it under control. We're not sure what caused it. I hope it's not gonna come back, because it's literally something like 50 meters from where I'm supposed to sleep. But we'll make it work. But guys, you stayed on the Piles of Legacy, I hope, because I've been as far away from it as I could. I just recently noticed that apparently like this Mickey Mouse dog shit, as some people
I love
call
that
it,
term.
initiative that's actually like a real thing, right? We are all totally like. We're being fucked by Mickey Mouse,
so
basically, is what I want to say.
I can give us a bit of a dive on the deck if we have time and stuff. Basically, I've been...
Dude, yeah, we have 40 minutes to fill to understand the Mickey Mouse dictatorship that is initiative.
So I have been playing lots of basic planes recently, and this last week...
First mistake.
I know.
Okay, keep going.
But not actually casting Thalias as well. Oh shit, what's happening to me? So...
Oh, you're seeing that.
Those that don't know is... There's been like a lot of buzz for ages. Like the deck's been played in paper. It's not like a brand new deck, but the cards have finally come online and they've made a pretty big splash already. So the cards we're talking about are White Plume Adventurer and Seasoned Dungeoneer. So White Plume Adventurer is 2 and a white for a 3/3. When it ETBs, you take the initiative, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you untap a creature you control. If you've completed a dungeon, untap all your creatures. So it's pseudo vigilance for one of your creatures essentially. Seasoned Dungeoneer has tons of words. It's like the white questing beast, and you'll read it a bunch of times, and it'll still do something different than what you expect. So it's 3 and a white, so 4 total mana for a 3/4. When it ETBs, you take the initiative as well. You'll see a theme here. And then whenever you attack, target attacking cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard gains protection from creatures until end of turn. It explores. It's like 2 words at the end there, just has a big effect as well. So ETBs take the initiative, and these decks are... There's a few different styles, but you're usually seeing mono white or red white. And Seasoned Dungeoneer itself is a warrior, so it's attacking cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard gaining protection from creatures. So White Plume Adventurer is a cleric itself. The decks are sometimes playing like Anointed Peacekeeper, which I'll say what it does in a minute. There's just a bunch of things that it triggers off. So
you'd have to explain a lot of cards.
Yeah,
I
think so. So for those that don't know the initiative. Like a while ago, I joked with a lot of friends. I was like, I'm never going to find out what it does, and if someone plays against me, I'm just going to ignore it. And you can't do that.
Here you are, our certified Everday Eternal initiative expert.
Yeah. I mean, so in reality now, this deck is very, very real in the format, and it's very, very strong. You have to know what the initiative does. So while we go through that, I'm going to pull it up so I can see what it does. Basically, it's...
Well, I know you make your opponent lose 5 life, and then the ultimate is like completely broken.
Yeah, so it's similar to the Monarch. So if people know the Monarch, it's basically when you get this effect, you keep like a token that's like an emblem, so you can't interact with the initiative, or you enter into a dungeon. Basically, it's called the Undercity. You can't remove this thing. Players will use player aids and paper and stuff, but basically, when you get to the first room, you search the library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it to your hand. It's a pretty strong effect. Then you have 2 options. You can go the aggressive way or the incremental advantage way. So the aggressive way is called Forge. You put 2/1/1 counters on a creature. And then from there, you can go to Trap, which is target player loses 5 life. Or you can go into Arena, which is goad target creature. Goad is another ability people might not be familiar with. It's you choose a creature, and that creature has to attack next turn. So after that, you can then go into Archives, which is draw a card. And then the final room is reveal the top 10 cards of your library, put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield with 3/1/1 counters on it. It gains hexproof until your next turn, then shuffle.
So anyway, here I am sitting on my bed trying to make this work. I have no idea. We apologize for any delays. We wish we had a sponsor so we could actually run their ads right now. But we don't have a sponsor, so we cannot run ads right now. So you're just like stuck listening to me. And now we have a Callum and a K back in here. No Japanese fuckboy anymore. I wonder if anybody's outside my room.
No, I think he just lost his job, I think.
Okay, that works. Guys, we are back. We were just talking about the initiative and why everything you need to know is like, get the extra land, make the opponent lose 5 life, grow your creature, and
There's more.
like
There's
basically
more.
summoning trap or something.
There's also more. So
But that never comes up.
no,
does
it really does. So that's the aggressive way. So basically, the idea of the deck is, you're using soul lands like Ancient Tomb and Sea of Traders and Chrome Mox or Mox Diamond or Lotus Petal to play these initiative cards ahead of curve. And so you can kill like really fast. So you make a 3/3 like the White Plume Adventurer turn 1, then you put 2/1/1 counts on it, you attack turn 2 for 5. Turn 3 you go into trap and they lose 5 life and you attack them for 5 more. That's 15 damage by turn 3 from one card, like assuming it doesn't get blocked and stuff. But very often, it'll get bolted, but the initiative is so strong against removal, so very often you do just go like, so rather than the aggressive way, you can go into the Lost Well, which is Scry 2, and then you can go into the Stash, which is you make a treasure token, or you can then go into the Arena, which is the Goda creature. And then if you go through, then you can go to Catacombs, which is you create a 4/1 black skeleton creature with token with menace, and then you finally go into the last dungeon at the end, which is the look at the top 10 cards and you get a creature.
This would actually be a lot less confusing if you didn't name all of the rooms.
Yeah,
You just
maybe.
got the goat room or the grow room or the I don't know room.
Well, on Magic Online, they ask you to click which room to go into, so I've become really used to the names and stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like one of the like the nerdier things to actually announce which room you're gonna go into.
Dude, we're playing Magic the
You
Gathering. It's
know
all
what?
nerdy.
I already see it coming. Like, you go to Four Seasons Bologna, and then my first opponent, who's probably Italian, is gonna show me the Undercity in Italian.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And I was gonna go like, not we. CC, prego. Gosh.
Then you randomly just like point at dungeons and like they lift an eye.
It's
They're
like,
like
Just
Yeah,
point
dude,
at it
like,
and you're
go
probably
there.
dead.
Right, like do whatever the fuck you want, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't care. Like, you can scry 3, I don't care, it's okay.
So the gist of the deck is basically, actually, there's been a ton of builds and a ton of directions to take it, and it's still very much in development and stuff. Like, again, people have been playing it in paper for a while, thinking about it, but it's just finally, Magic Online is where you get to play the most matches, essentially. So the core of the deck is 4 White Plume Adventurer and 4 Seasoned Dungeoneer for the mono white build. I do think Seasoned Dungeoneer is like a 4-of staple. It's been so much better than I expected. Because the initiative like requires you to, if you deal combat damage to the opponent, you take the initiative, so you take it back. It's similar to the Monarch in that way. And so Seasoned Dungeoneer can make itself protection from creatures, so unblockable essentially. So if you are like fighting a board battle,
dragon.
or like your opponent's gumming up the board with tons of creatures or whatever, like this just attacks through and takes it back again.
like dragons.
So it's super powerful. That after that, there's 2 kind of directions of thought for now that I see. There's like Chrome Mox. So Chrome Mox wants you to play the white double face card. It's called
Emeria's Call.
Emeria's Call. Yeah. So that is it's the white one. So when ETB is you pay 3 life to be untapped. If you don't, and it's tapped.
Oh, it's the Upsa Spacelands, but for
Yeah.
white, basically.
Or you know what? This deck actually makes a ton of mana because you have the Moxes. When you get the initiative, you go and search for a land. You have like usually 5 to 8 soul lands with extra pedals and chrome moxes and stuff. I've cast Emeria's Call quite a lot of times.
Dude, this shit's so smart. Like, you can pitch a land to Solitude. Holy smokes.
Yeah. So
this is crazy.
It's taking a book out of Mono Red Moon Stompy, right? So they play Shadow Skull Smashing, which is a Chrome Mox thing. It pitches to Fury, or it's just a land as well. So the same idea, and it's just so good.
Okay, awesome.
I really hope this works.
200 times the charm, they say in Kenya. It's
Yeah.
an old ancient Swahili word.
Cool. So let's jump back in. So what I was saying is, Chrome Mox, you've got Emeria's Call, pitching for all the things. You also get Solitude. So Solitude is the white pitch elemental from Modern Horizons. It's 3 white for 3/2 flash lifelink. And when ETBs, you exile another target creature. That creature's controller gains life equal to its mana cost, so Source of Plowshares. And you can pitch a white card to cast it. Solitude is absolutely insane in this deck. So the initiative is so strong against fair decks that you are just playing this board control thing because you're going to go through it. What I didn't realize as well is when you go through it, you start again, and getting through it, you can go pretty fast. So like you do it every upkeep, but every time you play a creature that gives you the initiative, you venture further as well. So if you have a draw of like 3 creatures with the initiative, you're like getting through it in a couple of turns. It's you get to that last one, and then you find another creature with initiative, or you find like a solitude as well. So you just want to stop your opponent from like dealing combat damage to you. So solitude comes in massive here, and it's clutch. But that's like the Crow Mox version. The Mox Diamond version goes heavier on lands, obviously. So I think it might be slightly better in the mirror, but it's going to take a while to find that out. So Luanil, who's famous for playing lots of basic planes very well, he came fourth, I believe, in yesterday's challenge, got to the semifinals, and he's playing Mox Diamonds over Crow Moxes and 24 lands. And in those lands are 4 Wastelands and 4 Urza Sagas. So
okay. You had me at Urza Saga.
So I'm so on this. Saga I'm not massively into. Wasteland is in theory like kind of good in the mirror, because taking out soul lands is really strong. But the deck is actually very hard to mana screw, I found, because with the initiative you are getting that first basic land. You do play 4 or 5 basics usually. You have Crow Mox as well. What I did find, I did play a couple of leagues with his build as well. So he plays Once Upon a Time as well. So you're better at finding your initiative things. You're better at finding... Oh, I forgot to say, Archon of Meria is another one of the staples. After that, it becomes quite full of flex slots, which people are still working out.
It's actually part of the staples because, like, I'm looking at the list that PVDH, Peter Vanderham, won the Legacy Challenge with.
Yeah, he doesn't have Archon. I just don't.
Do you think it's a big mistake?
I mean, look. So he won the challenge on Saturday.
He has like the World Championship card of Palavito Damodarosa, so that must be something, right? Maybe he's a fan.
At least Spellbinder. I think that's a flex slot, but I'm big into it. I like to play 3 or 4, so I really like that card. But Archon
he doesn't even have Aven Mindsense on main deck. A confirmed bad deck, is it? No, I don't know.
So
but there's like 3 copies in the sideboard.
Archon of Meria is in
on to something here.
Which one?
Aven Mindsense on the sideboard. You told me you even like played it main deck, right?
I tried 3 main deck as well. I've been trying like loads of creatures. I'm playing a different list every single league. I've got about 15 to 20 leagues in this last week, just trying loads of different things. But for me, Archon of Meria is the only other staple after like the mana and then the initiative cards. It's just so strong. It's obviously insane against combo, like it just can auto win against many combo decks, but it's just so good against like fair as well, like making a fetch land come into play tapped, and then they fetch, and then their duel comes into play tapped. It's such a huge tempo swing. Like 1 spell a turn is so punishing against expressive iteration and cantrips. It does die to bolt. It can't trade with a Dragon Rage Channeler. It's pretty bad from behind. But when you drop it in the first couple of turns, or when you're at parity or ahead, it can really swing. And it's just good against some, like, I mean, imagine what it does against green-white depths, right? All their jewels come in tapped and stuff.
I mean, it also holds a G-tip quite nicely.
Yeah, it does. It does. So that's actually a really good point. So another thing I found is in this deck is flying as a premium. So again, the deck it's fighting like it has 2 game plans basically. So it gets unfair. You're playing Archon of Emeria, or currently I'm trying Aethersworn Canonists in the deck. Some play Chalice of the Void. I'll get to that soon because that's an interesting point. Lots of them have Thalia, Garden of Thraben. So you have some really nasty permanents. I was even playing 4 Deafening Silence in the sideboard. Like, you can really beat up combo with this deck very easily as well. You can play tons of hate for it. But
it kind of reminds me of Eldrazi, like the way you describe it, like, and also just like looking at this deck and the mana cost and everything, just like taking full advantage of the soul lands, and we're even like adding Lotus Petals and stuff. And I think Eldrazi I guess they couldn't really run Chrome Mox, but is this the second coming of fucking Eldrazi?
It could be, as one way to describe it. Like, the deck is super aggressive. In my preferred build, it plays Cavern as well, so I'll get to what I like at the moment shortly. But I'll go through like a bunch of other flex things as well, because, as I said, after the initiative creatures, and then in my opinion, Archon of Emeria, and then like Ancient Tomb is obviously the best card in the deck. It's all quite flexy. So basically, some people play Stoneforge Mystic. I've tried that. It's actually pretty good. So it's really good because Cauldron is obviously a very fast clock, and you can play Stoneforge Mystic turn 1, activate it turn 2 pretty easily in the deck. You're playing, as I say, Crow Moxes or Mox Diamonds, and then you often have Lotus Petals as well. And then Jitte is also super strong in the deck, because if you think the Stoneforge is going to die, you get the Jitte. But because you have all these soul lands, it's very easy to just play it and equip it as well and get it going. So Jitte is very strong in the deck. And as I said,
This is bringing everything back. Like, Jitte has been like dead in Legacy for like years, except for like some, I guess, Death and Taxes mirrors and stuff.
GTA's been pretty good. And again, as I said, because you're playing this like kind of board control thing, or if your opponent gets to hit you, you need to be able to hit them back. Flying is a premium.
Vice words. If you get hit, you gotta be able to hit back.
It's taking the initiative back, right?
Please subscribe to our podcast.
It's how the deck plays. Like you are playing this board game control.
True. So
it's not about damage. It's about taking the initiative back. If your opponent hits you, they take the initiative.
Oh my god, this is like the second. I've seen that when I watched an Etc. tournament. Literally, the initiative kept bouncing back and forth. Or like it basically like accelerated both players because both players were like speedrunning through the dungeons and going into it like every single turn. It made the games quite weird. But I guess if you have these like 8 initiative, can we like just
Kai's sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, Kai is gonna be back in a moment.
Okay.
He's just like figuring out like police knocked on his door, but. Okay. You have these like 8 initiative enablers. Can we get a better name for that? Because it's a horrible word.
Don't know.
Initiators. Dude,
initiators.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we coined this term, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what Stoneforge does is like it doesn't necessarily help the actual initiative plan. It's just like a good threat. Again, GTA plays board control against small creatures well. You can play obviously the cards are complete. You can play Lion Sash. PVDH has a Lion Sash in his deck. It's pretty cool that Stoneforge can go and get a white card to pitch for Chromox and Solitude as well. But it's just also graveyard hate. But I guess if you're playing Stoneforge to get a white card, you can just pitch the Stoneforge. Another thing that I'm not 100% on, but basically Peter plays Chalice of the Void. A lot of people are playing Chalice of the Void, and it makes so much sense, right? You're playing 4 Ancient Tomb, you're playing like 2 to 4 City of Traders, you're playing Chromox or Mox Diamond and some Lotus Petals. Of course Chromox makes sense. You're not even playing any 1-drops so far in the deck. But I think you should not play Chalice of the Void and just play Source of Clash as main deck instead. Because I'm going to keep saying the same thing, subscribe to our Patreon. Board control is the name of the game here. The initiative will win you games against other fair decks. You just need to play board control. If you have the board control, then you can start attacking your opponent. Your creatures are so good at attacking because they're going to have evasion with a lot of flyers, with like Elite Spellbinder, I like. Seasoned Adventurer. Yeah, Seasoned Adventurer gives protection from creatures. White Plume Adventurer untaps one of your things, so you don't want to trade that off if you're going for board control with Pseudo Vigilance. And like if you complete the first dungeon, then you have the Seasoned Dungeoneer. You can attack with stuff, give pro creatures, smash in for big damage, and then they all untap thanks to the Adventurer. I did some cool things where I got to activate an Unlicensed Hearse against Delver, exile 2 cards from their graveyard, then untap with the White Plume Adventurer and exile 2 more.
Oh, and do it again?
Yeah. You can... I played
this is
also...
the kind of stuff I would totally miss in a tournament if I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah. There's some red-white lists with Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so I've used White Plume Adventurer to untap Kiki to get extra activations. Well, I mean, they conceded when I started to do that, but it's pretty cool. Other things is like Thalia's pretty stock in most of the lists. She's good. Like she just buys the deck time, and you're playing mostly creatures as well. Like your only non-creatures are some of the fast banner and
I would think like Thalia would be a total stable in this.
Yeah, she's good. She's like it's weird because you get 3 mana on turn 1 so often that you kind of like feel weird playing a 2-drop, but. Yeah,
I play a 2-drop on the first turn, man. I'm so behind my curve.
Yeah, but you do need to have some curve. So other things you can play there, like as I said, I'm trying Canonist at the moment. It's just doubling down the redundancy of the Archon of Emeria, but it just beats up on combo, and it's pretty good against cantrips decks as well. Like it really slows them down and lets you just develop your one bigger threat a turn.
Okay.
Other stuff that's going on, as I was talking before, there's also red-white versions. So what red gives you, in my opinion, is Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It's obviously the big one. You get Caves of Chaos Adventurer. It's another initiative card we've seen in Moon Stompy. So it's a 4-mana 5/3 trample. When it ETBs, you take the initiative. And then whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library. If you've completed a dungeon, you can play that card without paying its mana cost. Otherwise, you can play it. So it's kind of like drawing a card. And this thing gets big and kills really fast is the main thing. So it's 5/3, and then you can go to the first dungeon to make a 7/5 trample that when it attacks, you kind of draw a card. Like, that's really aggressive. Obviously, really good to copy with Kiki Jiki with Fable as well. Red-white mana is a bit
I don't know, man. To interrupt you there, I know I love Fable very much. I just can't get behind a red and white deck in Legacy, and I know that's
Dude,
like a really lazy thing to say.
You can finally play some plateaus. That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
it's not even about the plateaus. Like I don't even hate those cards. I know it's a meme to hate them, but to me it's more like that's never good in Legacy. Like even Death and Texas pilots, they have this disease where they're after like everybody who's been a Death and Texas player for more than 3 years naturally develops this urge to splash red into the deck, and it's just, man, this is where like ideas and dreams go to die, because then it sucks and then they start becoming like, I don't know, red Stompy players usually, and from red Stompy they usually transition to a different format, and I've seen it time and again with so many people. And yeah, man, it's just like when I see somebody trying to go from mono white to white red, I know where it ends, and I just don't want to lose more
Gonna
friends.
fucking become a modern player.
I
mean, I'm going to totally
tonight,
ignore that
sure.
you're ignoring Shortcake here. I mean, I don't know what to say.
I mean, we are all ignoring Shortcake, but Shortcake like started out as a red deck that splashed white. It's not. It's the other way
top-8
around.
yesterday's challenge as well.
Wait, it did? Oh, that's the Legacy challenges. Dude, I'm so happy I got you guys, because I would be so lost and disconnected from everything here.
Yeah, it was Jack Kitchen top-8 yesterday's challenge with it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, yeah,
but
like I get why it's so tempting to splash a secondary color to like those like monocolored decks. But I like one of the first thing I thought that's like really cool about this mono white deck is that it can play its card like safely through Blood Moon effects and like, you know, like back to basics, like all that, or even like wastelands typically, like all that nonsense. Because like there are like a bunch of like 3 and 4 drops in this deck, right? And even though this deck has a lot of mana to it, I could see some struggle here and there.
Yeah.
So I guess the white
where I go as well.
helps a little bit.
Yeah. So one thing to realize about the deck is the deck's mana is actually pretty good. Like getting the basic of the first initiative like effect is just it's easy to understate, but it's similar to like how whenever Ragavan dealt damage to you, you'd exile the top card and get a treasure token. The treasure token is what's powerful. Mana is so powerful in Legacy, and just like getting a basic from your deck is a powerful thing to have tacked onto a thing that's going to give you more advantage and gives you a creature. And so it makes you cast your next threats more reliably and stuff, and gets that first basic. You probably want to cast your second threats off it as well, and you do often like just go through it like in the long grindy games against like 4-color control and stuff. Again, I'll get my list in a second that I'm liking at the moment. It plays 4 Cavern of Souls.
So are you saying that the mono white Stompy deck is like a true competitor to your Painter deck in Legacy?
Painter's my love for sure, but I'm enjoying playing it. I think for 4 seasons I'm going to play it one of the
dude, I see it coming. Like the team
polyamorous relationship.
The team event, like the modern Legacy and Vintage, and on the Legacy seat we have monoplane.
Get out of here. I received 2 of those beautiful, sexy Thorn of Amethysts yesterday in the post, or a few days ago in the post, to add to my Painter deck. Don't worry. Painter's still my love.
Okay. So, but, you know what? You just made me realize.
Yeah, so something I like to do.
You know what you just made me realize? In Legacy, tutoring for a basic land is actually more powerful than tutoring for a dual land. Like White Bloom Adventure, like the Alicity would be worse if you actually had to tutor for a dual land. I mean, it's kind of hard to phrase it in the way that you have to find a dual land. It's actually almost impossible unless you go like really out of your way, like a land with like 2 different basic land types. But yeah, just like.
I agree.
I don't have much to contribute for this episode, everybody. I'm very sorry. I'm limited to stupid comments and disconnecting every once in a while, but here we are.
No, I agree though. The deck. So again, coming back to consistency. The Mox Diamond build with Once Upon a Time that Lionel plays has more lands. It doesn't get wastelanded out. It has a bit more consistency, but Urza Saga for me didn't perform great. Your constructs are not that big. It's kind of slow, and with Urza Saga, you're incentivized to play as like the last land in your curve of threats already, if that makes sense. Like, so you can play your turn 1 or turn 2 White Plume Adventurer, not off Saga, play your Seasoned Adventurer, not off Saga, and then you play your third follow-up threat, whatever it may be, off Saga, and then you go from there. It kind of incentivizes a weird curve where you want to be getting the value from activating it to make 2 constructs by the end of your curve, but the initiative threats are so strong, they're probably going to carry a game and make it over by the time that comes. And then you can search for like a Soulguy Lantern, a Shadow Spear, or a Mox Diamond, I guess. I just wasn't a massive fan of Urza Saga. Wasteland, though, I am a fan of. I think it does help the mirrors. I was also thinking, if the mirrors become a big thing, you could try and play like Crucible of Worlds as well with these things. But they still play 4 or 5 basics and a Chrome Mox or the Mox Diamonds themselves. It's pretty hard to wasteland these decks off. You need to have like actual lands, wastelanding and ghost quartering you or something. So I'm not sure it actually gives you that much advantage in the mirror. But so my preferred list at the moment is 4 Swords to Plowshares, 4 Thalia, and then 3 Aethers, 1 Canonist. This is the main flex slots trying at the moment. 4 Archon of Emeria, 4 Elite Spellbinder. This could be 2 to 4 kind of numbers, but it's been pretty good. Trades with Dragon Ray Channeler and just flies is good.
Wait. You're playing Elite Spellbinder and Archon of Emeria and White
That's
Plume
like so many.
Adventure,
It's like so many 3-drops.
Yeah, you got like 10 3-drops.
It's 12.
12, okay.
Wait till we get to the 4.
That's just good deck building.
I mean, so the idea is like this. So there's. I'll get to the mana base in a second, but obviously you're trying to play a 3-drop on turn 1 most of the time. And then 4 Seasoned Dungeoneer, and then 3 Palace Jailer, which is not super usual.
Whoa. This is hilarious. Keep going, and I'm loving it.
And then 4 Solitude.
What even is mana?
Well, so the mana base...
Everybody starts with like Thran Dynamo in play.
You cast turn 2 Palace Jailers so often. So what allows the curve to be a bit higher as well is, again, you find the basics of the initiative. It's great. But I'm playing 4 Ancient Tomb, 2 City of Traders. A lot of lists play 4 City of Traders, but I think 2 to 3 feels like a good spot. 4 Chrome Mox, obviously. 2 Lotus Petal, because you don't really want to draw too many Lotus Petals as well. 4 Basic Planes, 1 Caracas, 1 Aganjo, Seat of the Empire. 4 Amira's Call, that's the double face card. And then 4 Cavernous Souls, which, again, not everyone is playing Cavernous Souls, but it's just... So this build is kind of leaning heavily into beating Delver, in my opinion. So you have the Swords over Chalices. You have 3 Palace Jailers. You have a lot of humans, so Cavernous Souls often goes on human. So being able to play like the Thalia, the Spellbinder, the Seasoned Engineer, and the Palace Jailer all on human it's just good. They're all great threats against Delver. Obviously, you can name an Elemental for Solitude. Well, there's a bunch of clerics as well. So like White Plume Adventurer is a cleric, and I can't remember which one of the ones are now. there's too many others. But for me, a big draw to it is Cavernous Souls, which I think is better than like the other flex slots of lands of like Saga and Wasteland, because I think, again, it's just better against Delver.
So help me, where did the stack actually come from? Is it just like pop up because the cards are available in Magic Online right now?
Yeah, basically. I mean, people have played it in paper. It's.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, right? In Naya Depth, how Naya Stompy,
Naya Stompy, yeah.
White Blue Adventure is like really good, but I had no idea that Seasoned Dragoneer.
Seasoned Engineer.
Seasoned Engineer, yeah.
Steve Jobs needs to make these iPad screens bigger. I guess that's how like the MacBook was created or something.
Seasoned Engineer didn't get anywhere near as much hype as White Plume Adventurer. I also started off just playing 4 in the deck because I thought, let's see it. And God, it's good. It's really, really good. It's just you need to see it to believe what it's doing and stuff, but it gets really big fast. Like you play it turn 2 very often, then you do the aggressive line, you make it a 5/6, it attacks and it explores. It could be a 6/7 attacking.
Wait, how do you make it a 5/6?
Because
because the fucking Explorer thing?
Yeah, with the initiative. You first get a basic, then you put +2/+2 counters on it. It attacks, gives itself protection from creatures. They can't block it. Yeah. Next thing, it's dealing 5 damage to them. Like, you've done 11 damage by turn 4 with this thing, and it's supreme ball control and very tough to kill.
Yeah, it has like a built-in Mother of Runes in it. It's not bad.
Yeah, just for the awesome price of just 4 mana.
You know what? I think like the base skeleton of this deck is probably like based off a deck that we haven't really seen in ages, and that's like a Soldier Stompy. I don't know if you guys remember that deck, but
War Chief.
Like the Dark War Chief. Like that was like the big card advantage machine, I suppose, right? It's like the.
No, the Dire War Chief was the guy who's basically like Goblin War Chief. And I think the enlistment officer is the Goblin Ring Leader.
Of course, yes. Yeah, that
of course you say.
That guy, yeah.
I was so proud of knowing this.
It was like a white 4-drop, who cares? But, yeah.
And Preeminent Captain is the lackey.
Oh, really? Yeah, was it the Kitkin that attacks and then you put like an attacking creature on the field?
Yeah, 3 mana, 2/2 first strike. When it either attacks or deals damage, you put a soldier in. So you'd put in like the 6 mana Captain of the Watch. Be like, haha, I got you.
Oh gosh, yeah. That's crazy. I think it was like also backed up by that enchantment that taxes activating abilities. I think like suppression field. Because
That's
like I
really
remember
good.
like,
That's so annoying against
Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan, like when they had like one of those legacy coverages in 2013-14, and then that deck popped up out of nowhere. It's like what does suppression field do? It's like it's so crazy. But this like this mono white Stompy now is basically that deck with just better cards, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's finally got like these threats are so strong. The problem with Stompy decks has always been like your threats are not good enough to beat the fair decks where they can ignore your lock pieces. So Chalice of the Void, I think, is at a low point now again. It saw a rise with Moon Stompy, but this is why I'm pretty fine just cutting it for Swords of Plowshares, because I would much prefer to have a Swords in my hand than a Chalice against Delver. Like, just easily.
Okay, so Callum, so you really got to sell this deck, right? Like let's say to all the Death and Taxes listeners out there, why would you want to build this deck instead of Death and Taxes?
You shouldn't. Please carry on playing Death and Taxes. We all need wins.
Wait, what?
No.
Crush their dreams, man.
They
Tell
are,
them what it is.
They are
They
very
will love
different.
you.
They're really different. Death and Taxes is... Poor Death and Taxes. It feels so badly positioned. I've played against it a few times with this, and you just completely run it over.
Wait, Myros told me he's actually getting back into Death and Taxes.
Really?
I like how you guys are like the polar opposite.
No.
I love that. That's like very sad no. That's not like even like a cocky no. That's just like,
No.
oh damn, I don't even know what to say. But please don't.
Is it
I think I played against it 3 or 4 times, and it felt like the most lopsided matchup I've played so
like
far.
is it about Yorion just not being good enough right now, or like being too slow?
It's so slow.
Yeah.
Like they need to have Mum into Stoneforge to have a chance, basically, or like Vile into Port plus Mum and Stoneforge or something. Mum is really good because you are just playing like 4 Solitude and 4 Swords of Plowshares, and you don't really have an answer if they untap with Mum, and it's kind of annoying. As I said, like board control is this deck's like whole plan against fair. So yeah, if they get that going, it can be tough. But all their stuff is just so expensive, and Seasoned Engineer they struggle with, apart from like a Swords or a Solitude as well. I don't know. You can just play your threats so much faster.
You get to play Ancient Tomb, and Ancient Tomb is basically like Reshaden Port on steroids. Like Reshaden Port, like it's basically like you even like trade down on mana kinda, but you use other stuff. Whereas every time you tap Ancient Tomb, it's like using Port, but it also untaps.
Whatever you just said.
I'm trying to describe the concept of tempo like an abstract child. You guys go on.
But I wouldn't. So they're both mono white decks, but I think they're pretty different. I think Julian's description of calling this closer to Eldrazi is pretty accurate. Like Thalia is
Julian,
like,
smart guy.
Actually, it's nothing.
That's a reason he's actually calling it from Kenya. You need to keep you guys straight here.
But they have like the initiative creatures are like the Reality Smashers. You have the Chalices and Thorn of Amethyst. There's something in play are the Thalias and the
exactly
the Archons and stuff. And then you just have loads of fast.
What's funny is like this deck could pretty much support a Thought Knot Seer like pretty easily, right? Because like all the Ancient Tombs and City of Traders anyway.
So it's another card that people have played. Like people even tried Eldrazi Displacer and Reality Smasher. Yeah. Well, they've cut them because it wasn't very good.
But somebody suggested this Eldrazi Displacer to me, and I immediately forwarded it to you because I thought about like this was the smartest thing ever.
So I think Ephemerate is actually quite cool in the deck.
Didn't I just like shoot that down on Discord?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Kenya is not doing well for my legacy.
You shoot it down really hard, but I'm going to try 2 in the deck.
Dude,
as well.
we just like we figured it out. That's why I'm playing Modern and the team event.
But so to kind of come back around it, what I'm trying to stress is I felt like my description was actually quite all over the place. So apologies for that. But I don't think there's that many like fixed slots after your mana base. You obviously want some acceleration as a way into the different mocks kind of debate. Then you have your initiative creatures, and then Solitude. After that, I think there's just a ton of options, and it's all quite flex until people are working it out, which is really interesting. This is what I'm enjoying. Like, as I said, I've played good old white-red mid-range, if you want to call it that, Julian. I tried Naya. I think Naya is kind of just... It doesn't work online because Morlock is not online. Green gives you Morlock and Minskamboo. Minskamboo is obviously pretty powerful if you're casting it fast. But I found the mana just obviously a lot worse than mono white. Like, this is why I like the consistency of this deck. And again, just hedging for Delver. But Morlock is kind of clutch as in a piece of removal because you don't really get to play Fury or Solitude in that deck. So Morlock was your removal. And without that, I tried it with like Rabble Masters and Trinospheres and all these other things, and it just didn't really work as well. So I think that's just flawed online, but I still think it's a very good build of it as well. But it's gonna be really interesting to see. So for numbers, Saturday's challenge had 3 in the top 8, coming first, second, and 5th, I believe. And then yesterday we had Luanil top 4 with it as well. And there was another copy with like Chancellor of the Annex a bit further down that was playing red as well.
Damn.
Wait, these are actually like Eldrazi numbers.
Yeah.
Like this is the first challenge. It's been legal and it's already getting like half the top 8 or something.
The first challenge, it was legal. It came first, second, and
Dude,
top
this deck
4,
is not a joke. Holy
first,
shit.
second, and top 4.
Yeah, so that was Peter won. He beat his teammate Casper in the finals. He's a cool user. And then the other person in the top 8, I can't remember who it was, but it was Mogged, who's a bit of a like Magic Online grinder.
Oh man, you know, like next step, I watched them like splashing all like blacks, like scrublands for massacres and like Dread of Nights.
No, actually, we should all be playing. What's it called? Virtuous Ruin, right?
Everyone. So there's Virtue's Ruin is like destroy all white creatures. Like it's pretty powerful against the deck. Your creatures are all white. So yeah, hate against this deck. How to beat it is really hard. Because the initiative is just hard to interact with, especially if we see the builds converge to Cavern of Souls. It's just really hard to interact with. So like Torpor Orb is pretty powerful against the deck. It's very powerful actually. So it takes off like the initiative ETB effect, stops Solitude. Elite Spellbind is just like a really expensive 3/1 flyer then. Stoneforge Mystic just doesn't get anything. So yeah, Torpor Orb is pretty powerful if your deck can support that.
Oh yeah, Drop Orb is like the biggest thing. Like from the little that I've been following, I was going to say Tinder because I'm actually scrolling through Tinder right now. No, seriously, Twitter. People have been talking about Top Orb so much that it would be like the really consider Top Orb against this, consider Top Orb against Doomsday.
Or Doomsday.
Yeah. What else is there?
Dude, don't you worry, no one's gonna play that. And if so, it will never resolve. It will only resolve
Even
if I
against
say
Painter,
so.
like
Torpor Orb is back in my Painter
Oh my
sideboard.
goodness, just
it's in the Painter
stop.
sideboard. Okay, there goes my
Or
deal playing
for
against
this
Painter.
deck mostly. Don't need help against Doomsday, obviously.
please stop.
But yeah, otherwise, like, hate is hard. You need to be playing to the board against this deck. Is basically it. Or you need to kill them faster. It's so hard when they can just drop a turn 1 Archon of Emeria. Or like Thalia or Chalice U. And they even play like Mindbreak Traps and Fairy Macabre in the sideboard and stuff.
my goodness.
So they actually get to play Vintage once again? Like, is this a scenario where one like plays Vintage and the other one plays Legacy?
Could be. I do think it's not. It's really strong. It's probably straight into tier 1 in my estimation. But like playing it a bunch, it does lose to normal things. Minsk and Boo is actually really powerful against the deck as well. You can kill the Minsk with your swords and get tempo and your solitudes and stuff. It's tough. Like if you don't immediately have the ball control already, Minsk and Boo just closes really fast because you're taking a bunch of damage for Ancient Tombs. Again, like being able to hit your opponent or vice versa, hit the person who to take the initiative. Minsk is great at that because it's got trample. Yes, that's a very good card. I can see people trying to play that more as well. It's a deck that does just lose normal games of Magic sometimes as well. So it's not like doom and gloom. This deck is completely busted, but it is an absolutely serious contender, and I think we're going to see a bunch of it. It's going to be interesting to see who and how many and what lists people play at 4 seasons, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the biggest contenders in the format. This is so weird. Like this deck came, can't really say out of nowhere, but yeah, dude. Mickey Mouse bullshit.
You know how when we first talked about White Plume Adventurer, you went on Magic Card Market and bought some straight away?
Oh, did they actually like?
Have you seen the prices? They're
10?
like €7 or €8 minimum plus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like 20 or 30.
No. But that's up a lot. They were like 20 cent or 30 cent or something.
Okay, MTG Finance, Everday Eternal. You learned it here first.
Well,
man. Yeah, cool. So what is this actually weak against? Because I think we were already, maybe we crossed over into the 1 hour mark. I'm not sure. We had to reboot the podcast for for a moment. But Callum, tell me which decks is this weak against? Like we already covered like cards that might be weak against. Which decks do you not want to face with this?
I think Delver is still like
what?
50-50.
Don't say that.
Okay, that's This is the forbidden statement. My Delver
Yeah,
matchup is 50-50.
I know.
Nobody's gonna take you seriously afterwards.
Well, Delver still has a bunch of flying creatures. It's risky. Just play your threat out, put the initiative on the table, and they take it. It's going to be hard to take it back. They have wastelands and dazes. Again, I need to thoroughly test this cavern with 3 palace jailers and blah blah blah. Because I think more removal just does solve the Delver matchup, because the initiative fights toe-to-toe on advantage with Expressive Iteration with Mystic Sanctuary, probably in theory. So we'll try that. XJ Cloud and Jarvis U played a bunch of games yesterday over the weekend, and it was 5-3 to Delver, or maybe a bit better. They'll correct me if I'm wrong. I think Delver as the deck is kind of constructed. XJ was playing Mox Diamond build as well.
Oh,
maybe the deck just becomes tuned enough and targets Delver enough that it can be good. Yeah.
Is anybody at ELM actually gonna play Delver? Everybody just has their secret tech, I guess.
Yeah, there'll be some Delver players.
Actually, do I play Delver? I don't even know. I figured it out.
Yeah. I think Elves.
I was just gonna say that because I think Death Texas is a terrible Elves matchup, and this is just a little more aggressive Death Texas-ish deck.
Archon is pretty great at it, but it's since I'm talking about the Newton one with Fiend Artisan and stuff. Basically, Natural Order for Progenitus is insane. It's really hard to beat for the deck. You can play some Council Judgments, but that card's just there.
I've been saying it forever. Against this, what do they call it? Nightmare on Elf Street, whatever.
Yeah.
Even Mind Sense is just so insane.
It is. So, yeah, I tried 3 main deck for a while, and I just kept getting baited to leave up my mana rather than cast my better spells. So, I don't know if that says more about me.
You can still flash them in anyways at the end of turn, I guess.
Yeah, but there was my opponent would have 2 fetches up. I'm I want to get them. But
I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to get you. Okay.
But you're right. There's a couple of Mind Senses floating about in lists at the moment, and it is really good against Newton's Elves, Nightmare on Elf Street. But it's as I said, so you could just tech heavily into that, and you can play Containment Priest as well very easily. You know what? Something like Reanimator or Doomsday, Dark Ritual decks can always just be faster on the play with a discard spell, take your 1 combo hate card. Doomsday, if you can cast the Doomsday off 3 lands or get the Dark Ritual Doomsday underneath an Archon, then you can just play Cyclers and go like that. So
I'm so gonna hate playing against this for the very first time at ELM. I'm gonna come home from Kenya on a Tuesday, and I'm leaving for Bologna on a Thursday. Actually, I booked my train just the other day.
Oh, that's congratulations.
So there's almost no time to test.
Well, aren't I bringing it to maybe lend you as well to play?
Oh, that would be amazing. That's going to be interesting. No, I'm actually, one of our guys, he's actually going to the next big town around here, and he's going to try to find a laptop charger for an HP laptop, because we literally have I want to say 30 laptop chargers here, and none of them fit.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but if you can actually find one, I can actually start testing this. Not sure what the connection is going to be. But yeah, I'm going to be excited. Yeah. Guys, are you excited too for ELM? I keep reading and hearing about all the extra stuff that's going to be there. Just today I was told that there's not only 1 bar, but there's 2 bars at the venue. What the fuck? Is this the most bars any Legacy venue has ever had?
I can't wait. I was talking to some friends or a friend yesterday about going to there, and I did them through music, so I just say, it's for nerd stuff, don't worry about it. But I was the Italian main event is the whining and dining afterwards.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much. We still have to figure out how to get around, right? Apparently, they don't have proper Uber, so we might need to use Italian public transport, but I'm not so sure. But yeah,
we'll work it out there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I will trust you guys to guide me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, do we close it out here? Do you guys have any wisdom to share with me that what happened Legacy in the last week or two? No,
it's basically been this deck. Otherwise, it's the challenges have looked pretty diverse. There's not been a ton of Delver. I did actually play them because I was moving in this weekend, but I was kind of following along.
I've been liking recently is that there's obviously the basic core of the obvious powerful decks in Legacy, but every once in a while something crazy pops up, like this mono white Stompy deck or that Naya Stompy deck we talked about the other day with the course of crew fix nonsense. decks like that. I find it really, or like even that crappy dredge deck I played. No, actually, I think that
I like how we talk about decks like that win tournaments and like destroy the opposition. And Kai is like 2 a.m, gets drunk. Oh yeah, let me play like control dredge.
Well, like those kind of archetypes. I think like whenever it is okay to brew a deck like this, and to well or not, is generally a good thing for a format. I want to say. So I gotta say, like, I hate Thalia, like just apps, like there's like no, like this is like the most like lame ass creature I can ever think of.
I don't think there's a card I've made more of.
I appreciate people who can like come up with a deck like this, because it would not have crossed my mind to ever build a deck like this.
I think it kind of builds itself. But yeah, I agree. I like having new things. I've always been maybe spoilt by having access to Magic Online and playing it a lot there, so you're not like as affected about keeping up and stuff. But I like new toys. I like playing with new things. Don't like them like too much too fast sometimes, but I don't know. It feels like it's a good pace, and I think this is we've had Moon Stompy recently, and this is like a Stompy deck, but it's different. It's not trying to lock you out. It's not trying to like it's quite interactive, honestly, apart from the initiative and Cavern of Souls. But it's not trying to chalice you or transfer you or blood moon you.
Right.
It's workshops.
Dude, I just got a WhatsApp from a friend whom I offered a job, and said friend was like, "Oh, you know what? I don't feel like working."
Oh, that's a mood.
This is missing infinite context, and I wouldn't share it if it was like actually like that, because I'm not telling the entire story. It's just like I was reading this as we are recording. I'm like, you know what? I don't really feel like working right now. I'm like, okay, cool. Anyway, sorry. This has been the most confusing, all over the place episode we've ever recorded.
Before we sign off, do you want to do like a rundown of what our plans are for 4 seasons?
Actually, that would help me out a lot, yes, because I have no idea.
Cool. So Friday, all 3 of us are playing a team. We need to come up with a team name. So if you guys have some ideas for team names, hit us up on Twitter or in our Discord, or just like shout at us. MTG. Call Julian in Kenya. Go and see him in Kenya. At Eternal MTG. See, this is why we have you. Yeah, we need like a funny, silly name, I think. Be stupid. Not like Team Thalia, or maybe it's Team
Dude, if it's Team Thalia, I will always drop immediately.
But you have to pronounce it the German way, Team Thalia.
Team Thalia.
I don't care, dude. Or
dude, Callum, I have no idea where you come from, but your German pronunciation is just like so on top.
I've been to Germany a lot. I used to.
Yeah, no, dude. This is the part where you have to say thank you. Oh no, dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Arigato.
I'm just I don't know why.
Arigato gozaimasu. Shimasen.
You know what? Speaking of which, Thalia in Japanese is Sadia. I mean, it doesn't really make it any better, but I just wanted to
Team Sadia.
Dude, like in Japanese, it's like Chimu Sadia. That's
Chimu Sadia. Julian, do you agree with that?
Chimu Sadia. Team Sadia. Team Sadia.
All right, that's our team.
That actually sounds like a pretty racist.
It sounds like a pizza you can order.
Japanese speaker. Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Oh dear. So, team tournament on Friday as Team Thalia. So basically, I'm playing Legacy, Kai's playing Vintage, Julian's playing Modern. We haven't so Kai is probably playing. Are you playing Doomsday in Vintage?
Doomsday or like some Tinker deck. I don't know, like something.
Yeah, Doomsday or Tinker. I'm gonna. So basically, there's gonna be 3 events. I'm gonna play Painter in 2 of them and Initiative in 1 of them. But probably Initiative on Friday in the team. It'd be more fun, maybe. And then Julian...
Wait, you get to play Legacy 3 times? Oh, because you play our Legacy seeds. That's so smart of you. How did you make that work?
I tricked Kai's Discord into telling Kai to tell people you to play
You're
Modern.
secretly subscribed like 30 times to Kai. Actually, Kai is much bigger than 30 subscribers. Kai, I just concluded Kai is the biggest Legacy streamer around. Actually, that's probably Anorak, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So that's what's happening on like
Friday. That'll be fun.
Saturday.
I think it'll be pretty chill as well. It'll be a really nice, like, kind of get into it. I don't imagine people take it super seriously for a team event and stuff, so it should be really fun. I'm looking forward to that.
So I hear like the team event is like all proxy, right? And I believe the Eternal Legacy Masters is I keep saying wrong. The European Legacy Masters is also all proxy, and I'm pretty sure the Legacy main event is not proxy.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. I wasn't sure. I think the first two I know are right. I wasn't sure if the main event is proxy or not. But yeah, Saturday, all three of us will have the European Legacy Masters main event. That's the invite-only thing, which has generated so much hype.
Yeah, it's actually generated way more hype than I ever imagined.
Yeah. So
like they even like we have so many people even like doing guerrilla coverage and proper coverage and like there's got to be like more reporters than players for that main event.
Yeah. So there will be coverage of this ELM. So do check out Four Seasons on Twitter. We'll put the Twitter link in the show notes because I can't remember what it is right now. But they will definitely be posting the links to watch it out on Twitch leading up to the event and stuff. So they'll be doing the ELM, and I believe they'll be doing the Legacy main event on Sunday as well. So after the ELM on Saturday, all three of us, I assume, will be playing the Legacy main event on Sunday as well. Yeah. Is that right?
Nah, yeah. I was actually looking at the Pioneer side event. And,
you can play Thalia and Pioneer as well.
Okay, and you? Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody actually get qualified from the I don't even know European Pro Tour Pioneer?
Yeah, Thalia won the RC yesterday in America, which is the two finalists qualify for Worlds, and he won it. So. Yeah,
I'm not even going to pretend I know how that works these days.
Okay.
Like people care, like these days, everything is the Pro Tour, and nothing really is.
Is the regional championship is the RC?
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
RC, that's like cars to me. RC cars.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys want to add anything else?
No, I think we kind of jumped between a big mishmash of White Stompy.
Totally. Yeah, and I
did some hype about Four Seasons, and we cut out 3 or 4 times. This is a very successful podcast, and Julian's computer's probably about to die as well.
I haven't had pizza and Italian food for like 2 weeks at this point, and I'll be slamming pizzas left and right. You can bet your ass.
I'll do it with you.
Oh yeah.
By the way, actually, I am going to prepare for this tournament. You know what? I'm actually going to a card tournament tomorrow in Kenya, but we're going to play poker.
It's like Uno.
It's basically the same, right? Yeah, Uno. Yeah,
Draw 4.
The North Kenyan Uno tournament. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal, man. I wouldn't like mess with those guys.
I haven't looked it up, but I swear there's gonna be a world championship on Uno. Like probably somewhere.
Kai, you know that German game, Mensch ärgere dich nicht? I have no idea what's it called.
It's like
in English,
the most boring board game
famous.
ever.
It's literally the most boring board game you can imagine, and there's literally a world championship. And I saw an interview with a woman, and I could swear she actually won it twice or something.
Oh, of course. Oh my goodness.
Actually, I must be good for something. Let me look up what Mensch ärgere dich nicht is called in English. Because it's so universal, it must. Mensch ärgere dich nicht. I'm typing with one hand because I'm holding the micro with the other one. Okay, what is it called in English? Okay, it says it's a German game. That doesn't give me a lot of hope for an English name. Okay, in English it is called... Well, fuck this shit. It's called Mensch ärgere dich nicht.
Oh, really?
Man, don't get angry. Yeah, that's the translation. Man, don't get angry. It's literally called Mensch ärgere dich nicht in English as well.
Well, Kai, I'm glad we have a teammate that's testing properly. I know we're not.
Kai, if you, Callum, if you ever saw this game, like I almost want to bring like a board of it to Four Seasons and just like introduce you to the magic of Mensch ärgere dich nicht.
Okay, if you do that, I'm gonna bring a game called Star Realms and introduce you to Star Realms.
You know, that sounds just like so much more amazing.
It's a game that Darwin Castle made, and it's amazing.
You know how Mensch ärgere dich nicht starts?
No.
Like both players just keep rolling dice until someone hits a 6. And then the game starts.
What? That's awful. What the hell? Why would you do that? Why can't you just roll off and whoever's highest?
And you have to do that like at least 4 more times per game, unless you like lose one. And
can you imagine like when you sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna. So me and you, like you're like Callum, you're gonna love this game. Let's play it. And we roll the dice to get a 6, and you just don't roll one for like 3 minutes. That's
literally how the game sometimes starts.
That's
Dude,
awful.
It's really just insane. Like it's like imagine if you play like a game of Magic, but both players start with like 0 lands in hand, and it's like, okay, well, I guess the first one who top decks a land wins. You know, like that type of. It is literally that stupid. I played it so many times when I was a baby, and I hated games for like the longest time in my life, like until I found Magic when I was like 10 or 11 years old. But that game is just criminally retarded, really. So.
You know what I love? Like Wikipedia actually has like a text box for this game. It says like blah blah blah. First publication 1914. Language is German. Players 2 to 4. Setup time 1 minute. Playing time 30 minutes. Chance high. In bracket like dice rolling, and then skills counting.
Oh yeah,
it's a bit out of my depth, then, unfortunately.
One of my
again.
worst skills.
Yeah, sorry, me and Kai can't play that.
Yeah.
I can only like
there should be like an online
I can
version
only
for this. Mensch ärgere
sell
dich
myself
nicht
in
online.
half. So
So if you want to hear more Mensch ärgere dich news, definitely give us a follow here. Give us a sub on Apple, whatever, guys, Apple Podcasts. It's so weird when you record a podcast, but you don't have your usual setup, so you can't hear your own voice. Like, your voice really changes when you can't hear your own voice. I just realized this. But if you want to support more of the madness, and if you want to send me back to Germany so we can have, like, actually proper podcast recordings, give us is it called a sub? A pledge? Support. Give us your support on patreon.com/Everday Eternal. Just like our most beloved Patreons, especially on the Eternal Witness tier. Tommy Hinks, Testacular, Sebastian Hollager, Guillaume, Hannawave, Sean Dewey, Francis Cowper, Cassandra Davis, Benedict Gruber, and Severin Schwarzhuber. And drumroll, which I also don't have available in Kenya. We don't do drum rolls here. We just have like lions roaring. Grizzlebrand tier, Victor Bernard, Bajubat, Scott Monroe, Jeremy Gates, Hendrik Korkutz, Tom Hepp, Andrew Whitman, Kane, Ian Seefeld, and Paragon Games in St. Louis. Guys, it was an honor. This was the most messed up podcast recording we've ever done. I'm very happy that you guys stuck with me through all the disconnects and everything. And I can't wait to see you guys in Bologna. Have a great time, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, everyone.